I have 3 messages connected to you, and it is essential that you listen carefully, because their impact may surprise you. Pause for a moment and take a slow, steady breath. What you are about to hear aligns exactly with this point in time. This is not coincidence. These words reached you because you were ready to receive them. Some truths wait quietly for years before surfacing. Some emotions refuse to remain buried. And some connections, no matter the distance, the passing years, the silence, or the pain involved, never truly break. Tonight, 3 acknowledgements emerged from someone deeply connected to you. They resisted sharing these thoughts for a very long time, far longer than you might realize. But eventually something within them gave way. What they suppressed could no longer remain contained. The first admission is simple but powerful. You never left their thoughts. They only learned how to conceal it better. This is the first thing they want you to understand. You were never erased from their mind, not even briefly. They trained themselves to continue life without your presence and forced themselves to appear fine. They stayed active, kept moving forward, and learned how to function. But silence does not equal forgetting. In moments of loneliness, thoughts of you returned. When life slowed, you resurfaced. When they accomplished something meaningful, you were the person they wished they could share it with. Some people leave impressions that time cannot remove. They heard familiar songs and felt tension rise in their chest. They visited places you once shared and felt as though time paused. A familiar scent would appear, and suddenly the past felt intensely close. They questioned why someone no longer present still occupied such a private space within them. They tried to explain it away as routine or memory. But internally, they knew the truth. You were more than a memory. You were a presence they carried with them. What was hardest to accept was that they did not only miss you during difficult periods. They missed you during calm moments as well. They felt your absence most when life seemed quiet and incomplete without someone who truly understood them. Slowly, they realized that you saw them in a way no one else ever had. The distance you felt was not caused by indifference. Many times, they almost reached out. Messages were written and then erased. Seeing your name made them hesitate, fearing what your response might be. They questioned whether you had already moved forward, whether you were content without them, or whether reconnecting would reopen wounds neither of you knew how to heal. So they remained silent, and with each passing day of silence, parts of the connection slowly weakened. Now they understand something clearly: silence can destroy what love itself never could. The second admission is the quiet truth that shifted everything. This is the truth they tried hardest to deny. They were not afraid of you, they were afraid of what you represented to them. Something new awakened inside them when they met you. Something deep and powerful, so intense it scared them. True connection demands complete honesty and openness, which takes immense courage. At that time they had none. They built emotional walls and acted indifferent. They pretended to be strong when they weren't. Inside, they were overwhelmed by emotions. They felt unworthy and feared letting you down. They were afraid of losing control. Instead of showing their heart, they concealed it. Instead of expressing love, they kept their distance. Instead of growing, they stayed in safety. The moment you left, something inside them broke. That loss forced them to confront who they really were for the first time. The truth was difficult to face. They saw the opportunities they had missed and heard the words they never spoke. They replayed the moments they took for granted again and again. Finally, they admitted that you weren't asking for too much, they were simply giving too little. Your departure became a permanent lesson. Pain became their greatest teacher. They realized that love does not wait endlessly, and people don't stay when they feel ignored. Timing means nothing without effort. They discovered how rare it is to find someone who brings both peace and excitement. They learned that a true connection cannot be replaced. It is either protected or lost forever. You became a lesson etched into their soul. Everyone they met after you felt shallow. Every connection seemed incomplete, every smile insincere. Once a bond reaches the core of the soul, everything else feels temporary. The third and most urgent message is that time is running out, and silence is no longer an option. This message comes from real urgency. They sense a major change approaching, a moment when the universe demands truth. They know that if these words aren't spoken now, the opportunity will vanish forever. They are torn between fear and honesty. Fear urges them to stay safe, to avoid rejection. Truth urges them to speak, even if it hurts or changes everything. Right now, the truth is louder than ever. They want you to understand that if they return, it's not because of confusion, it's because they are certain. Certain about what was lost, what truly mattered, and whose presence never left their heart, even as life went on. They no longer expect perfection. What they seek now is honesty. One genuine conversation. One moment of emotional presence. What they really want you to know is this: they don't expect you to wait forever. They aren't asking for immediate forgiveness or trying to recreate the past. They simply need the truth spoken aloud. You were loved far more than you realized, and losing you changed them profoundly. Whether you choose to reconnect or close the door forever, they needed you to hear this truth. Some things are too significant to stay silent. This message reaching you tonight is no accident. Something greater is unfolding. Maybe they are preparing to reach out, or perhaps your paths will cross soon. Decisions are approaching that will determine the future of this connection. This isn't about chasing anyone, it's about gaining clarity. You are no longer left wondering. You don't have to question whether it was real or imagined. It was real. Everything you felt was genuine. And now, the choice rests with you alone. Listen closely to your heart. The bond you shared wasn't imagined, and your love wasn't excessive. Some people love quietly or out of fear, and some love when it's too late. But true love always leaves a mark. Tonight, these feelings return for a reason. Trust what you know within. Honor what your heart senses. Remember, no matter what happens next, you are stronger and wiser than ever before. As you sit with these realizations, understand that the energy between you is shifting from heavy silence to a clear frequency. This transition isn't just about them, it's about your own release from uncertainty. For so long, you carried the weight of their silence, perhaps doubting whether the depth of your connection was real or if your intuition had failed. Now that burden is lifted. You are being given the gift of confirmation. This clarity acts as a bridge, guiding you away from confusion toward a future where you are fully recognized and valued. Whether that future includes them or leads to a fresh start, you are now stepping forward from a position of strength rather than longing. Often, the universe reveals these truths just before a significant breakthrough in your personal journey. By hearing these confessions, your spirit is released from old uncertainties, making space for new experiences. You no longer need to carry the weight of their unspoken feelings. Those emotions have been returned to their rightful owner, and you are free to decide how to move forward with this knowledge. Take a moment to honor yourself for the love you gave so openly, and recognize that your capacity to feel deeply is a strength, not a weakness. Your path ahead is now lit by truth, allowing you to walk it with confidence. As you embrace these realizations, remember that you hold the power. This message arrived because the cycle of uncertainty had to close for you to move forward. For a long time, you may have felt as if you were waiting for a sign or reason to release the what-ifs. This clarity is that sign. It confirms that your heart was right all along, and the love you felt was reflected back to you. Even if the other person was too fearful to show it at the time, you are now freed from the burden of wondering if you mattered. You did matter, and you still do. Now is the moment to focus on your own healing and growth. Their realization is a journey they must walk themselves. While hearing their truth can be powerful, your worth is not defined by their words. You have grown into someone who knows that love should be open and effortless, not hidden in silence and shadows. Take this moment to release any lingering doubt. You stand at a crossroads where the path ahead is finally clear. Whether you choose to wait for them to speak or move forward into a completely new chapter, you do so with a heart that is no longer uncertain. You are whole, you are acknowledged, and you are ready for whatever the universe has in store for you next. Moving forward, remember that this clarity is meant to set you free, not pull you back into the same cycle of waiting. The universe has delivered these truths to confirm that your feelings were never wrong. Your intuition served as your guide, pointing to the truth even when the world around you seemed silent. This is your permission to stop questioning your worth. You have endured the silence, and now you are rewarded with the understanding that you were unforgettable. The energy once tied up in confusion is now yours to reclaim and use for your own joy. As you enter this next phase, notice how your body and heart respond. You are no longer the person you were when this connection began. You carry more wisdom and a stronger sense of self. If this person eventually reaches out, you will listen from a place of peace rather than need. You are protected by your own growth. This is not just the end of a long silence, it is the start of a period where you only welcome love that is brave enough to be honest. Whatever you decide to do with these confessions, act with the confidence of someone who knows their own value. You are ready for a love that matches your strength. Trust that this timing is no coincidence. It reminds you that your worth was never defined by another person's ability to express themselves. Even when you felt alone in your feelings, the universe was holding you with an intensity you could not yet see. This revelation serves as a bridge between your past and your future. It allows you to release regrets and look ahead with the certainty that you can create a profound and lasting impact on others. You have already navigated the most challenging part of your journey, and the fog has finally lifted. As you move forward, remain centered in your own light. Do not rush to act or reach a conclusion. The truth has emerged so that you can find inner peace, regardless of what the other person chooses to do. You are in a space of grace and clarity. Use this energy to nurture your own goals and your soul. You have demonstrated that you can bear the weight of silence, and now you can enjoy the freedom that comes with truth. You are moving toward a phase of life where your relationships will be defined by openness and mutual respect. Trust the path ahead, because it is guiding you to exactly where you belong. Recognize that this moment of realization also tests your boundaries and self-love. While discovering the truth is healing, it is equally important to acknowledge how much you have grown while they remained silent. You are no longer the person who waited by the phone or questioned what went wrong. You have built a life, discovered your strength, and become your own source of peace. The universe offers this insight not to drag you back, but to provide the closure you deserve so you can step into your future without lingering doubts. As you move forward, keep your heart open but maintain high standards. You now understand that you leave a permanent impression on the souls of others. This is a rare gift and deserves to be met with someone equally brave. If this person is meant to reappear in your story, they must approach you with the same honesty and courage that these revelations have shown. If not, This truth becomes the final piece, allowing you to walk away with your head held high. You are the author of your life, and you decide who earns a place in your next chapter. Finally, recognize that this shift in energy is a call to action for your spirit. The universe has revealed that your love was never one-sided. You no longer need to carry the weight of "what if?" because the truth is clear. This clarity is your green light to pursue your happiness with full determination. You are invited to stop waiting in someone else's life and begin leading your own with courage and boldness. The silence has ended, replaced by a profound sense of freedom that allows you to breathe fully again. As this chapter closes, give yourself permission to release any anger or resentment you carried through the quiet years. Those feelings were merely guards protecting your heart, and now they are no longer necessary because the truth has been revealed. You are stepping into a phase of life where your relationships will be rooted in reality rather than mystery. You are a person of immense value, and the world is ready to reflect that back to you. Keep your eyes on the horizon and your heart steady, knowing you possess the wisdom to navigate whatever comes next. You are the hero of your story, and your greatest adventures are still waiting to unfold. In this final stage of your journey, recognize that you are entering a time of profound emotional richness. The messages you have received serve as keys unlocking doors you once thought permanently closed. This is not just about someone else's feelings. It is the universe affirming that your faith in the power of your own heart was justified. You are being called to stand tall in your personal truth. The doubt that once clouded your mind is now replaced by certainty. You have moved beyond the pain of being overlooked and arrived at a place where your value cannot be denied. Looking ahead, anticipate a newfound sense of lightness. The heavy energy of the past is being transformed into fuel for your passions and dreams. You no longer wait for a miracle because you have recognized that you are the miracle. The confessions of this person act as a mirror, reflecting your own beauty and depth. Take the love you reserved for them and begin pouring it back into yourself. When you are full of self-love, you naturally attract everything that is honest, courageous, and true. Your story is no longer shaped by who left or who stayed silent, but by how you stood tall and found your voice. As you step into this new light, understand that you are entering a season of abundant growth. The long winter of uncertainty has ended, and the seeds of patience you nurtured in the shadows are finally breaking through. This is your spiritual graduation. You have passed the test of keeping your heart open when it would have been easier to harden it. By holding on to your kindness and your ability to care, you have prepared yourself for a level of joy that few ever experience. The universe is now aligning to match this higher version of yourself. Take a moment to honor how far you've come. You survived nights when the silence felt unbearably heavy. You survived moments when you felt invisible. Now the truth reveals that you were seen all along. This awareness transforms the very air you breathe. You can enter any room knowing your presence holds power and your love leaves a lasting impact. The mystery has lifted, leaving only the firm ground of truth beneath your feet. Use this solid ground to create the life you've always envisioned. You are no longer a passenger in your own story. You are the one steering, guided by a heart finally at peace. As you embrace this realization, recognize that you are stepping into complete emotional independence. This journey was never just about a message from another person. It was about rediscovering your own light. The universe used this connection to show you that your ability to love is your greatest strength. You have reached a place where external validation is no longer needed to affirm your worth. The silence that once felt like confinement has become a sanctuary of self-discovery. You now stand at the edge of a beautiful new beginning, where your well-being is the priority. Trust that everything is aligning perfectly. The energy once spent worrying about others now flows back into your own soul, empowering you to craft a life that excites you. You've learned that true closure doesn't come from conversations with others, but from the peace you cultivate within yourself. You are whole. You are complete. And you are ready to receive all the blessings the world has been keeping for you. This is your time to shine unapologetically, knowing that your heart is a treasure and your spirit is unbreakable. As you complete this experience, recognize that you are stepping into a period of complete emotional freedom. This journey was never merely about receiving a message from someone else. It was about rediscovering your own inner light. The universe used this profound connection to remind you that your ability to love is your greatest strength. You have arrived at a place where you no longer rely on anyone else to validate your worth. What once felt like confining silence has now become a calm space for self-discovery. You stand at the beginning of a beautiful new chapter where your happiness comes first. Moving forward, trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The energy you once spent worrying about others is now returning to you, empowering you to create a future that excites and fulfills you. You've learned that true closure doesn't come from conversations with others, but from the inner peace you cultivate within yourself. You are whole. You are complete. You are ready to welcome all the good things the world has been reserving for you. This is your moment to be unapologetically yourself, knowing your heart is a treasure and your spirit is unbreakable. You have reached the end of the old story and are now turning the first page of a brand new one. As you move into this next phase, understand that you are entering a season of profound emotional growth. The long period of waiting in darkness has ended, and the seeds of patience you have sown are finally beginning to flourish. This moment is like a graduation for your spirit. You have passed the test of keeping your heart open, even when it would have been far easier to harden it. By staying kind and continuing to care, you've prepared yourself for a level of happiness that most people never experience. The universe is now aligning itself with this stronger, more evolved version of who you have become. Take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You endured the nights when silence felt unbearably heavy. You survived the times when you believed you didn't matter. Now, the truth confirms that you were never invisible. This realization transforms the way you perceive the world. You can enter any room knowing your presence carries genuine power, and your love leaves a lasting impact. The uncertainty is gone, leaving you with a firm foundation to stand on. Use this clarity to create the life you've always desired. You are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are in control, guided by a heart that is finally at peace. As you embrace this shift, understand that you are entering a season of pure clarity. The long period of confusion has ended, and the fog has lifted from your path. This moment is a gift from the universe, affirming that your heart was always on the right course. You no longer need to carry the weight of unanswered questions or the pain of feeling forgotten. The truth has been revealed to free you, allowing you to breathe deeply and move forward with a light, unburdened spirit. You are standing on solid ground now, and the future shines brighter than ever before. Moving forward, focus on the incredible resilience you developed during those quiet, challenging times. You have proven that you can survive the harshest emotional storms and still emerge with a heart ready to love. Others' confessions may remind you of your worth, but they are not the source of it. Your value comes from within. With the truth revealed, you can now channel your energy into your own dreams and passions. You are the master of your destiny, equipped with the wisdom to choose who truly belongs in your life. This marks the beginning of a chapter where you are the priority, and your peace is safeguarded above all else. Trust in your journey, because the best is truly yet to come.